All right, what's up, y'all? This is Jam here at Peaceful Media, where we're doing all sorts of positive things in the world, like launching brands, launching thought leaders, launching experts, anything and everything that is positive. We're putting out in the world on behalf of our clients and on behalf of ourselves. And I'm so excited. This is episode 1. I couldn't even sleep past 3:30 this morning. I'm so excited to launch this brand new show that has never been seen before in the history of the internets. And that's saying something. I have never seen a show like this that's going to last for 33 weeks where we show you exactly every step of the way, the pains, the struggles, the ahas, the dreams, the execution, the hustle, the everything it takes to create a 6-figure brand online with an online business. This show is all about freedom, and I'm so excited to introduce my homeboy and dear friend, my twin flame, Jimmy Farris, who is a Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots. I called them Boston Patriots. The New England Patriots, 6-year career with the NFL. We played football together and did a lot of things that never need to be documented together up in Missoula, Montana, and got to know each other. And as we reconnected in our adulthood, we discovered that we have a story to tell, and we are on a mission to inspire people to create more freedom in their life, whether that's financial freedom, time freedom, or sexual freedom, for all that matters. All right. So if you're here to launch a business or a brand online, you're going to get a great journey. You're going to get behind the scenes. You're going to get free consulting. You're going to get free expertise, everything that you would need, because Jimmy is going to get it and start executing and show you exactly what happens. So that's the tee up for this show. It's called the Freedom Lab. Lab stands for Launch a Brand. And we'd love for you to interact with us. So while I play this video from Ferris, go ahead and announce your name and where you're from in the chat. And so we can interact with you. You can always ask questions. We see them coming in live. This is an interactive show. I'm going to play a video for you. Now let's get busy with it. Oh man, this is what this show is all about. Please announce your name. Jimmy, you with me? Okay, cool.
I'm here.
Please announce your name and where you're from, where's your state, where's your country, where's your city, whatever it is in the chat to the side there or to below, wherever you're at. Find that chat and let us know that you're here and listening. This is a big deal to us. We've never done this. The industry has never done this. Expose the entire journey to total freedom and consciousness with an online business. So let me introduce fully my man Jimmy. So Jimmy Farris, this is such a great story. So here's the context. We're all going to college to play college football. Some of us, we're all coming from different walks of life. Some of us have full rides. Some of us have come from inner city and have seen nothing but blight and gentrification. Some of us have are the coach's son and found their way to a free ride. Some of them got partials and are hustling their asses out. Some of them are just walk-ons who have to make an impression. So you have this group of like, I don't know, Jimmy, probably like 30 cats on that season, on that squad. 30 new freshmen come in.
Yeah, 29 or 30. I think our class
30
had a really, really big freshman class that year. So there was 29 or 30 of us, man. And like you said, guys from all walks of life, everybody from different levels, everybody coming in from different high school careers, and some full scholarships, some highly touted, some guys that nobody had ever heard of. I mean, it was a crazy experience to come out of high school and jump right into something like that. I mean, you had to kind of figure out who you were and how you were going to approach that situation immediately. I mean, there was like no time to waste trying to figure out like, how am I going to try to fit in? I mean, it was automatically like, this is what I got to do and start doing.
No. That's from your perspective. Okay, so this is the whole thing about Jimmy. He came in and said on day one, this is just this little 18-year-old kid from Idaho. Day one, he says, "What's up, y'all? I'm ready to play college ball, but this isn't my last step in the journey." Something to that effect. If he didn't literally say that, then it was in his energy. It was like, I'm here for something bigger than this. And now for me, I'm like, holy shit, this scares me. Like, these guys are huge. They're all freaking fast. They all want to kill me. They all think I'm nothing in this world. I just came from high school where I was something, and these guys don't give a damn about me. And so it was like this big old like, whoa, okay, I'm the low end of this ladder. Jimmy comes in like, no, dog, I'm at the top right here. I'm ready to start today. I'm ready to start right now and go to the playoffs with y'all. And there was just this energy about him that was completely off-putting for me. Of like, man, he was like so confident and so confidence, as you all know, can be taken in so many different ways. Like, oh, that guy's a cock. Oh, that guy's so into himself. That guy thinks he's a shit, whatever. But as I started to get to know Jimmy more, I started to understand that this guy that you're looking at you're not looking at him right now, but this guy who's joining me for these 33 weeks of Freedom Lab, he decided in like junior high or maybe a little bit sooner than that, right? Like Pop Warner football, maybe. He decided that he was going to go to the NFL. That was his intention for over, 15 years, 10 years?
Literally.
15 years. He had decided, I'm going to the league. No one's getting in my way. And sure enough, post-college, Jimmy gets picked up by the 49ers. Thousands, millions of people great athletes, incredible athletes, try to get into the NFL. That is millions of young kids' dreams, young boys' dreams. Maybe not so much anymore with concussions, but nevertheless, it is a dream of millions. And I venture venture to bet that 95% of them are more athletically qualified than Jimmy Farris. But Jimmy had decided he was going to execute as if every moment of every day and every season was an audition for the NFL. He was the guy that would show up at the parties, you know, and you can imagine like football parties in Missoula, Montana, the Grizz football. We were like we were demigods. That was the NFL for Missoula, Montana, or for Montana as a whole. Like football was the big deal. And so to come in was to immediately land on this platform of hype and we can do this and anything we want. And Jimmy shows up to parties where everyone just wants to be part of this and fit in and understand who they are. And like you were saying earlier, so we're all drinking and stuff. And Jimmy is the one over there sipping like iced tea.
Chocolate milk.
Well, every time you'd see him out, go down to the clubs, we'd be dancing, we'd be out all night, we'd be at the football parties, everything. Jimmy would be sipping on some like chocolate Coke, you know, cherry Coke or chocolate milk. And we'd be like, come on, bro, come on, dude, take a sniff of this or whiff of this or sip of this. And he would be like, no, man, I'm good. He just knew. He had crystal clear clarity, if it can get any more clear than that, crystal clear clarity that he was going to be in the league. And so nothing was getting in his way. And only until I understood that about his persona did I understand that this guy's not a cock, he's driven. This guy's not egotistical. This guy wants it, and he wants it so bad that he's willing to sacrifice more than anyone else around him to get there. And so that is Jimmy, you are the perfect partner for a journey that for many people it's more than a struggle. It's a dead end. To take a business from offline success where you're crushing, you know, why don't you go ahead and share what you do in a second here, but you're crushing offline. But as that gets bigger, the more and more clients you get working one-to-one, coaching, consulting, working in corporate environments and organizations, the less time you're going to have. And I know like you don't have the whole family around you yet, but when you do, as you know, man, you're looking ahead going, I can do this now, but I can't do 10-hour days with all these clients forever, especially if I have young ones in my lives and a spouse and everything like that. So what we're doing with Freedom Lab is saying 33 weeks from now, we have created not only the financial freedom of a 6-figure business, and that's just arbitrary. It's not necessarily you have 100K coming in from your online business that you're free. I mean, you could be spending 120 to get there. So what we want is financial freedom where he has the ease and the peace of mind that bills are taken care of. He's able to reinvest in his business. He's able to contribute to society. He's able to decide whether or not to go to work or go to volunteer or go to speak for Boys and Girls Club. He has that freedom because of the financial flexibility in his life. And if you're on this webcast right now, you're on episode 1, and you've been in a scenario where you have to go to work because if you don't have breakfast. If you don't, the mortgage isn't paid. If you don't, your kids go starving. If you don't, debt piles up, right? So that's the opposite of freedom, what Pharrell was just talking about. We want the freedom to decide and control as many things as we can in our lives so that we can live the life we want, so that we can suck the marrow out of life, as Thoreau would say. So, Jimmy, tell me, man, give us a little bit of backstory of fill in the blanks a little bit for me. Provide some color of what your journey's been like. I know you're highly successful now, but there's a gap between that and say some of our clients like Brendan Burchard, who are just multi-million-dollar brands basically because they built an online marketing platform. What's your take on all this?
Well, so I mean, I think that you touched on a lot of things, and you know, I mean, kind of going all the way back to kind of put some context to the kid that you described, you know, that showed up to the University of Montana back in, what was that, 96, I guess, right?
Yep.
You know, the thing with me even back then was, yes, I was confident. Yes, I was really, you know, certain in many ways as I could at 18 and who I was and what I wanted and what I was trying to do. But, you know, a big part of that was, I mean, I hate to call it, you know, fake it till you make it, right? But I mean, a lot of that was, I was just as scared and just as unsure about what the next couple years of my life were going to hold as anybody was. But because I was really clear about what I wanted, I was able to project the type of confidence that said, you know, this is what I know I need to do to get to where I need to get. And so, I mean, way back starting, you know, in high school, I had some really good mentors. Obviously, my parents were incredible in terms of a support team and all of that. But I had great mentors and great coaches and people that constantly drove home these ideas of, you know, set goals, be clear about it, commit to what it's going to take to achieve those goals, and then, you know, operate in that space of confidence, knowing that you're doing everything that you can to make those things come true. And so, you know, I say all of that to kind of put that context on it, just to give you guys kind of an idea of what my mindset has always been, right? I mean, I've been at the top of the mountain and I've been in the valley. And sometimes that can happen within a matter of a week or a couple of days. Sometimes I spent a couple of years at the top. Sometimes I'm in the valley for a couple of years. You know, for as many successes as I've had over the last 10 or 15 years, I've probably had twice as many failures. People don't know about those because we don't publicize those, and they weren't maybe as big of failures as my successes were. But the point is that no matter where you're at, I mean, I think that's kind of what one of our the reason for this show is that no matter where you're at, there are things you can do starting where you are to get where you want to get. But ultimately, you got to have two things. You got to be clear about what it is that you want, and then you got to have people to help you do it. Like, I'm a team guy. Like, I've always said that I love the aspect of coming in, surrounding myself with people that can help me achieve my goals. That's what playing college and pro football is all about, right? I mean, I show up and there's a group of guys from a bunch of other players and coaches and staff and people like that that say, hey, we're here to assist you in doing what you do best. I was a wide receiver. I wasn't a defensive lineman. So I wasn't trying to play D-line. I didn't know what those guys were doing, and I didn't concern myself with it. I concerned myself with what my talent and what my skill was, knowing that there was other people surrounding me in that organization that were doing what they were supposed to do. And together, you know, when we were all operating in our strengths, that's when the magic happened. And so, you know, for me, like you said, I've kind of launched this coaching program. Again, I've got another great mentor right now, Steve Siebold, the author of 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class. Steve has been the top speaker and trainer and coach on the topic of mental toughness in the world for the last 25, 30 years. I mean, this guy, talk about somebody that gets results. You know, Steve is the man. And I was fortunate enough to come in contact with him and work with him and be mentored by him. And, you know, I've just now started to take some of those mental toughness principles that he really showed me and things that I've been using my whole life, mental toughness concepts that I've been using my whole life, and kind of launched my own coaching program here, kind of under that mantle and that banner of mental toughness. And what I've realized is that while it's been really successful, I've got a ton of clients, I've got a lot of great stuff going. I just love what I'm doing on a daily basis. I don't have the time, skill, knowledge, expertise to really build the brand and build the business the way that I need to in 2016. I mean, you know, you're talking about guys like Brendan Burchard. I mean, come on, like that guy just kills it online. You know, this is a guy who, if you want to get in touch with his message and his content, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. I mean, gone are the days of where, you know, the only way you could have access to something was happening to tune in to the right time on the TV, or you got to buy a cassette tape or something. I mean, this stuff is so physical now. We can, find these guys, and that's really what I needed help with, what I'm trying to do, and that's kind of the basis for the show. And you and I obviously talked about it. I mean, our relationship going way back to when our dream was just to make it, on the Montana Grizzly football team. I want to know that. To now where, this is serious business. I mean, yes, we're operating in our passion. Yes, we're doing things that we love. Yes, we're trying to literally change the world. As corny as that sounds, you can think that's corny, you can think it's whatever, but the only people that ever change the world are the ones that decide that that's what they want to do. So as we try to do that, we also understand we got bills to pay. We got to take care of our family. There's a right way to do this. There's a way you can do it that can, give you a lot of pain and heartache and headache. And so that's why I'm here. I'm excited about that. I mean, I love what I'm doing. I absolutely am so fulfilled in doing it. But I am not an expert by any means in marketing and building a brand and building an online presence. And, together, that's what you guys are all going to see us doing over the next 33 weeks is, I'm going to get homework. I'm going to have things I got to do. And, we're going to watch this thing grow. And I just have no doubt that, it's going to take off. And I'm really excited about it.
And so, dude, I'm so excited. I can't even keep my shirt on. Here's the deal, man. I remember back in like 2009, I asked Brendan, dude, will you take my teammate who wants to launch an expert brand, who wants to write a book, who wants to just share her story and share her message to inspire people to whatever, like fill in the blank, to be a better parent, to make more money, to be a better athlete, whatever it is that's important to, or that you have a great expertise in. And I said, hey, Brendan, I got a cool idea, man. What if you took my teammate who wants to launch this dream, her name is Lacey, and she works underneath you for free in exchange for you like guiding her, and she documents the whole thing as if it were a reality show, but like the profit meets just real life Main Street, like someone trying to launch a dream like this to become a motivational speaker, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then it'll be like this great testimonial and endorsement for what you do, because I have no doubts in my mind that you'll have amazing results. And you'll help launch a really great mission that means a lot to this woman, and you're getting a free volunteer. And ultimately, there's lots of things going on in Brendan's life, lots of things to market and promote and write and share. So it didn't happen, but I love that the kernel of that idea is to try to grab a little bit of the Kardashians' market share right now of what it's like to lose a diamond earring in the ocean. Greatest gift ever. If you're looking for great gifts. I lost my diamond earring in the ocean. Like, I don't understand how that gets as the millions of viewers and all the publicity when someone who's launching a business and hustling to make the dreams happen and inspiring others to do the same and changing people's lives doesn't get a lick of publicity. So it's our job as a community, as a viewership, as hosts here, to go out and make this known. So if you feel inspired, please feel free, invite people to come and join the show. It is totally free, and you'll be with us live, interactive, the entire journey. It's peacefulmedia.com/freedom, and you can use the hashtag Freedom Lab. So Harmony, I see you in here. Where are you coming from? I forget where you're coming from. I know we talked. It's great to see you in here, that you're excited about this show. It is. I mean, this is free. You're going to see free consulting over the course of a six-figure brand development, basically from scratch. So Jimmy, let's talk about Denver. Peace. I love Denver. All right. So the thing that caught my eye about Jimmy, I'm sitting there on Facebook, hopped over there, and up pops this video from Jimmy, and like we bumped into each other once, maybe we bumped into each other once, and we'll send each other random texts of things that we still laugh about to this day, from college. But like, this was something that just caught my eye. I don't know why. He just had this glimmer. He was doing a direct to camera video, right to his Facebook fans, and up in bold, Jimmy, what did it say? Like in the description of that video, what did it say? Like all caps.
Yeah. It may have said, do you, oh, I know exactly what it said. It said, do you know what you want? Or what do you, something like that. What do you really, I'm going to look it up right now. It's important to but it said, something along those lines, like, you know, because that's one of the most important questions that I always ask people right up. So what do you want? Do you know what you really want? And so that was kind of how I framed the video, saying like, look, if you don't know, then contact me and I can help you figure it out. And it kind of went from there.
Yeah. So it caught my eye. I'm like, oh, I got to watch this thing. It says something about a coaching program. Like, I didn't know that Jimmy was into coaching now. And so I'm watching this thing, and he's doing a really good job. He's present. He's articulate. He's clear. He understands what his potential clients are going through. And I just feel like his confidence around this whole thing of like, okay, clearly he's been doing some work, like not only on himself, but also with a community of people who want the same sort of mental toughness and success that he has demonstrated in his life. And so I was like, I didn't even listen to the whole thing. He made a little like offer, let's, join me. I'm taking on 10 clients, something to that effect. And I'm like, dude, done. I texted him. I said, dude, you got to call me. Let's talk about something. And come to find out, like he had already, like we spoke, and a couple days later, he had already sold out. And I'm like, dude, this is the perfect time for us to talk, because you've proven to yourself that you can come off of the corporate stage, come off the organizational leadership stage, working with Fortune 50 with Steve Siebold, and come out of there and go direct to camera, direct to market, direct to just your personal page, your personal Facebook page, and say, I got something. And all these people are like, boom, I'm in it. Dude, this is the perfect time to talk about how you're going to, what your intention is for this career, because you have just officially stepped into online business development and branding and monetization, honestly, of your expertise.
It's crazy too, because the reason why it was so important for me to do that was because, like I said, I've been doing a ton of work, literally over the last 5 years. I would say it was 2010, 2011 when I took my first training courses in, coaching and personal development, things like that. I mean, I've been kind of a bookworm and into a lot of this stuff, listening to the tapes and CDs, watching the programs, attending live events.
Yep.
Been in a lot of trainings with Steve and the mental toughness stuff. And for me, I got to a point where I was like, I need to jump out there and really create that belief that, and I say this because I know this is what a lot of people struggle with, in whatever field of business that you're in or whatever you're trying to do. You got to jump out there to create that belief that you can do it. You know what I mean?
Amen, brother.
I know. I mean, it's like I sit there and lay in my bed at night. I'm like, man, I know I can do this. Like, I know every time I get in front of people, I've given, when I ran for U.S. Congress in 2012, I gave a couple hundred speeches, right? I mean, every time I would get up there, I felt like I knocked it out of the park. I did what I was supposed to do. I felt good about it, right? And so I know I can do this. But until you get up there and continue to prove to yourself, I got this, I got this, I got this. Sometimes, look, we're all human. Our confidence sometimes, like, man, can I really help my clients get the results that they want to get? Because when you take somebody on and you say to them, I can help you, and I'm committed, get from where you are to where you want to get, trust this process and we'll get there together. Like, that's a big responsibility. And I needed to just jump out there and, kind of prove reaffirm to myself that, yes, I can do this. Yes, I can be good at this. Yes, I can get these results. And then the very next step was just what you said. Now that we're kind of, starting this, I don't have really any online presence. Let's start from where we are and let's do it right every step of the way. I don't want to go back 6 months and say, man, if I would have thought about what we were doing back then, I would have started building this database the right way. Or back then I would have, we're going to do it right from the word go. And you guys are going to watch that happen. Like Jason said, this is like 33 free weeks of consulting. You're going to see behind the scenes, like what a client and, the company would talk to each other about back and forth behind closed doors. You guys are going to see it play out live. And, I'm just really excited because I'm focused on what I'm doing with my clients. I'm focused on getting the results for them. And look, every time I got to spend, 10 minutes thinking about a video and posting a video on Facebook, I'm losing time and focusing on getting results for, the people that I've got that I'm really committed to. So,
yeah. And we'll shift that paradigm when you start seeing the effect that just a simple YouTube video or Facebook video or Facebook freaking ad or a blog post or a podcast can have out in the world, be it well beyond what you can reach right now with your Facebook page and your, word of mouth and people in your community. When you start getting people that have no business knowing who you are saying, dude, you changed my life, and or you saved my life because last night I was about to end this. I was about to end it. And when you get into, maybe for some of you who are new to this world or skeptical, I can tell you matter-of-factly that when you start getting into like a Brendan Burchard's world and you start hearing what their readers and course students and members are saying, and you start seeing the stories unfold in front of you in, say, a Facebook group or something, a public forum of the details of how close they were to ending it, and then the transition to hope and faith that it's going to get better, and the tips and the action steps and the advice and the inspiration and the camaraderie and the community saying you can do this, to see that all happen with one Facebook post to a tribe of hundreds of thousands or even millions, then you start understanding that, you know what, that 15 minutes that I'm doing a phone call with one person is super helpful. I'm going to do that work, and I have a choice. And that's what, coming back to what this show is all about, is the Freedom Lab. It's launching a brand that creates more freedom to make choices. So does Brendan Burchard still do one-on-one? Yeah. He just went and hooked up Oprah, and her whole team with how to run a stellar world-class business. They're big next in their business. He goes over to Usher and shows him how to run a business. He goes over to Ariana Huffington, and you name it. Those are his one-on-one clients. And now he has a choice to work with that level of clientele. And meanwhile, at every single price point, from free escalating all the way up into the tens, hundreds of thousands, people can choose where they want his advice or where they can afford and budget his advice in their lives. And so that's my intention, is to show you with a raw beginner's mind, but offline expert, how we're going to take that and build a massive platform that gives you total freedom. But can I check in real quick? Jimmy, I know you probably got something to say on that. Let's check in with people who are on here. I know this is a small audience now, but I guarantee you, as we get going and get rolling, as you guys share this on your social, hashtag Freedom Lab, send people over to the place to register for notifications for new episodes, peacefulmedia.com/freedom. As that starts rolling out there and we start promoting this harder and harder, this is going to become quite a hell of a community, and we won't be able to keep up with the chat. But while you have an intimate setting, please think about and I'm going to ask you the same thing here, Jimmy. Think about a time. What does freedom mean to you? Think about your life and be honest, be vulnerable. This is as intimate as it gets, just the 9 of us, and Kara over here listening in. Share what freedom means to you. Does that mean that, you do get a choice of I'm serving 99% of the world with my online course or my free blog or my group coaching program, and then 1% goes to working nonprofit, like volunteer one-to-one coaching, getting on a horn with someone, or going down to the soup kitchen and serving there? Is that what freedom means to you? Share what freedom means to you in your life. It does not have to just be about business. It can be about parenting. It can be about vacations. It can be about love, anything you like. I'd like to hear that so that we can serve you best with this 33 episode show. Jimmy, what's freedom mean to you, man?
Man, very, very simply, freedom to me means doing what you want to do, when you want to do it, with whom you want to do it, for as long as you want to do it, and be able to do that at all times. And that's not just from a personal standpoint, right? That doesn't mean like, man, I want to be able to do what I want to do. If I want to go hang out or go to a NBA finals game or whatever, and that's part of it. But what I'm talking about is by saying doing what I want to do. Okay, that means just what you were talking about. Do I want to service one-on-one clients? From a business perspective. No, you know what? Let's do a huge event. I want to talk to 5,000 people at one time over the course of 3 days. Like, it's that basic question, like, what do you want to do? Well, once I decide what it is I want to do, I want the freedom to be able to do it. It's like no questions asked, like, let's put it in motion and let's do it. I want to be able to do that whenever I want to do it. And that comes down to saying, my parents, I'm talking to my parents on the phone and they're saying, oh yeah, we're just kind of hanging out and this is going on. And, your nephew's got a baseball game this weekend. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to hop on a plane tomorrow morning. I'll be up there. I'll see you guys. I mean, that's, to me, that's freedom. That's living life. And guess what's so beautiful about this life that I'm in the process right now of creating for myself? I'm not tied to a physical office space. Like people, I don't have to be in an office, in a business where somebody comes in and if I'm not there, I can't service them, right? My clients don't care when we do their weekly coaching call. They don't care if I'm sitting on my balcony at a resort, as long as I'm providing the value for them when they need it and when it's their time, it doesn't matter. So I think, freedom, again, like I said, doing what you want to do, when you want to do it, with whom you want to do it, for as long as you want to do it, and be able to truly live the life that makes you happy. One of the things that Steve said in a Mental Toughness University presentation was, and it's in the book, if you wake up in the morning and you have to go to work, money's in control of you, right? If you wake up and you can do whatever you want to do, then you control money. And that's part of that freedom too, is you talk about financial freedom. People are always like, well, what does financial freedom mean? Does that mean being able to buy anything you want? No, it means that you're not controlled by it. It means that you don't have to do something you don't want to do because you need the money you will get if you do it. That's financial freedom. And so to me, it's kind of a long-winded answer for a really simplistic concept. But that's ultimately what it is, man.
Yep. So Harmony, she's with you or she's with me. I don't know. She's with both of us.
I like Harmony, man. We need to.
Yeah, Harmony, what's up?
What's the deal?
It's awesome. So we just launched a course called Launch 31, where we guide people step by step through a whole blueprint of creating their website and their expert marketing system. And Jimmy, I'm going to have you go through that program just like some of our other clients do. But we'll hook you up with some of our creative department's work and get you all dialed in with design. But I'm going to have you go through that process and document it so that we can share how it works and get you hustling, bro. Okay, so let me create some constraints for this program. We'll try to keep these episodes to less than 45 minutes every time. Kind of like an Oprah show, 40 minutes, I think is the length when you cut out commercials. We are commercial free. So we'll try to keep that, we'll keep these palatable and short and ADD friendly. But a constraint for Jimmy is, and I asked him if this is cool with him yesterday. Now, certainly he could afford to spend the kind of money that all sorts of our high-end clients pay over here for custom everything. But as a give to me and a give to people who just can't afford that stuff, and what I'm saying that stuff, I mean like the $15,000 to $100,000 website and marketing system stuff. For those people who are joining the show, and that's the bulk, who can't work in that right now, that's not part of their financial reality right now. My whole mission in 2016 is to start serving people who have a positive message, positive story, who want to inspire people to love more, play more, do more good. I want to give them platforms. I want to get tech out of the way for them. I want to make it as clear and easy as possible for them to go and create a lucrative online business. Because my take on this is the more people who are free to do what they want with their life, the more volunteer work is going to happen, the more loving, the more presence is going to happen, the more families are going to stay together, the more the ripple effect from people who are living their passion and have the freedom to do the things that matter to them most is a resonance of joy and happiness and flexibility, and less people who feel, in Brendan's words, caged and controlled and stuck. And oh, fuck, that alarm. Those moments in the morning where you're like, fucking hey, I do not want to go into work. I do not want to do that hour commute or 2-hour commute each way. I do not want to deal with that damn boss, another TPS report, Did you get that TPS report done? So I want people to come out of their days. I want people to wake up like you probably do, Jimmy, at 5:30, fired up, 6 a.m., whatever it is, fired up to go make a difference, fired up to see what happens in this day, see what you can create and manifest, see who comes into your life. You're so excited to go and sit at breakfast with a mentor. You're so excited to get down on a pencil and pad like you've been in the lab, like Dr. Dre, and you're sitting there writing your book. You want that freedom, right? You want that joy of, I'm up to do my work in this world, and I'm so clear about this. That's freedom to me. And the more that happens, the more I love this world. And I already love it a lot.
At the end of the day, that's where your best self comes from, right? I mean, when you are free to, like you said, you wake up in the morning and you're not all automatically stressed at something that you have to do that you don't want to do. When you're in that mindset, you totally block the creative flow. You totally can block, you talked about kind of that love and that joy and that harmony. You totally block those things. I mean, some nights I'll be sitting up watching TV, on my couch watching some news or something like that. I mean, right now I'm just totally, enveloped with all the presidential election stuff. I mean, I'm a political junkie. And so, I'm up at 10, 11 o'clock watching that, and I'll look over and I'll see, whatever book I'm into at that point in time, kind of sitting on the ottoman or sitting on the couch. And I'm like, man, I need to get to bed because I can't wait to get up in the morning and dive into that thing for an hour. It's almost like there's this anticipation of what I'm going to do the next day that's going to help me grow. And the reason why that's important is because in the line of work that I'm in and what I'm doing right now, it's hard to even call it a job. But when I grow, it totally expands my ability to help other people get the results that they want to get. And so, like you said, you kind of mentioned it because we talked about it. I had breakfast this morning with a guy who has really turned into a mentor to me. And every time I talk to this guy, he drops things on me that inspire me, that teach me something, that motivate me. And because I have that type of freedom now, I can do that. Just a year ago, I was, working in a business, kind of in a partnership with a best friend of mine, and we were working 10, 12 hours a day and 60 hours a week. And, I was running to Chick-fil-A to get lunch, and I was miserable. I was miserable because I had no freedom. I had no time. I would wake up and say, I don't want to do this today. Yeah. And, the change in just 1 year of living in passion, living in purpose, doing something that I know is a contribution to the greater good, and it's making an impact right now, one person at a time. Right now, I'm making an impact every time I get on the phone with one of my clients. What we're going to do over the next 33 weeks is, with your help, you're going to show me how to build the type of business that I can make an impact with as many people as I want, when I want, where I want, and with who I want. And that's, if you guys can't tell, like, I'm really excited about it. Not even from the, honestly, we're all motivated by money, and yes, but it's not even because I'm like, oh man, there's going to be, we're talking six figures, we're going to make big money. Like, that follows being in passion and being in purpose. That's like a given. I don't even care about that. I do, yes, but I am so excited about building this thing up, because when you're operating in passion and in purpose at your highest level, like the money is a foregone conclusion, man. That just follows it. And so I'm excited about building this thing, and getting a bigger audience and making as big an impact as I can. And that's what we will do. I'm not even going to say what we're trying to do. That will happen. That's what we're doing, and you guys are going to see it. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. So to put the bookend on what I was saying there is, we are going to have a financial investment constraint. Jimmy has made a bunch of money with his coaching, just to be transparent. We're going to try to be as transparent as possible here on this show. Jimmy, so he offered a coaching program. He immediately got all those spots got snatched up, and he's gearing up for another wave of that. So that money, I've basically said we cannot spend more than $10K over the course of the next 33 weeks. So we're going to treat this as if you're financially strapped, beginner's mind, and doing what you need to do with that money to make a big impact in a big brand and something that will scale beyond this year. It's very important, obviously, to you. You mentioned it earlier, that we look 10 years out, we look 50 years out, we look 5 years out, we look at 3 years out, we look at 1 year out, and we look at 33 weeks out, and we say, okay, how do we get to that big old star up there, the big old star of global impact, where you're getting up on stage with Elon Musk and making massive, radical, world-changing moves and inspiring people to do the same. Okay, if that's the goal, and that's the quote unquote oil barrel on the Saharan desert horizon that we can see from here, but who knows what it'll be beyond that? Maybe it is president, dude. Who knows, right? If Trump can get there, maybe that's your calling, man. Maybe the congressman run was just a little warm up for the big picture.
Preamble.
But so to get there, what do we need to do, and what kind of platform should we set up within these constraints so that we can show that this is possible with a mentality called toughness? You call it mental toughness. I call it hustle and perseverance. Same thing. Nothing is getting in your way. We will stumble. You're going to see a lot of stumbling over the course of these 33 weeks. We're going to fail miserably. We're going to have mistakes. I'm going to make bad calls. I'm going to say something, Jimmy, you got to go do this. And it goes like this. We're going to have zero conversion offers. We're going to have list building mechanisms that have a broken link, whatever it is. Like, there are going to be mistakes, and you're going to get to see what mental toughness and what Jimmy brings in the intangibles does to get over that, learn from it. Okay, cool, whatever, let's move on. Lots to learn there. Great. Let's do better next time. You're going to see how important those intangibles are to being successful in this brand.
Yeah. And, just to kind of piggyback off of that, you talk about mental toughness and you're talking about this journey kind of that we're going on and some of these ups and downs. One of the biggest components for me throughout my whole life and throughout my football career and what I'm doing now has always been the belief that whatever my desired outcome is possible, right? And you've talked quite a bit here about a guy like Brennan Burchard, right? Where did he go to school again? Where did he graduate from?
From Montana.
University of Montana, right? We were in business school together with this guy. You told me the story about how early on when you guys were both promoting books and kind of getting your message out there with, your guys' deal with Project Everlasting, and that you were seeing this guy at the same little, trainings and seminars. And my whole point is that sometimes people look at the end result and they're like, man, like how could I ever go from where I am now to there? If you have somebody that you watched do it, then it's possible. The belief is there. You're talking about somebody that came from the same place you came from, went through the same things that you went through. The belief that it's possible is so, so important. And I think that's, one of the things that so many people just lack. There's a lot of people out there that just, they have a goal or a dream or an idea, or they want to build an online business, and they get so bogged down by saying like, God, there's so much to do. And man, I don't have this, I don't have that. They talk about all these resources that they don't have. And they're forgetting that the ultimate resource, as Tony Robbins would say, is resourcefulness.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're going to do. I mean, I'm excited about that because, sometimes I get caught up in that. Sometimes I'm like, man, I know what I can do, but can we get this thing? We can, and we will. And that belief that it's possible, that belief that it's going to happen, you guys are going to see that week in and week out, and watch this thing grow. And it's going to create that, hopefully it'll create that belief in you guys watching us go through it. It's
so this first episode was all about setting the intention. Next week's show will be getting down and dirty, getting some boots on the pavement, so to speak. And you're going to start seeing from ground zero how we're going to build this thing over the next 33 weeks. So I'm so glad that you guys joined us for the first episode. Now, every episode is also going to include one of Jimmy's 33 mental toughness pieces of advice. And he's brought a perfect one for our first episode to the table. We're going to end with that. And in this process, just one little note on this, a little asterisk. Jimmy's practicing his material for his own book and his own course and his own speeches. So he's going to give you one of his mental toughness tips every single episode. Please share those, talk about them, give Jimmy feedback, share your story, how that touched you, how it didn't, whatever. This is the new way of writing a book or creating a course, in my opinion, and from my experience, is working with the audience in a communication that helps you shape that content to be exactly what needs to be heard and delivered at that moment in their lives. So this is really important that we have this interaction with you for so many reasons. You're going to learn more. You're going to get personalized advice and feedback, but also Jimmy gets an opportunity to really hone his craft of his message, and hopefully maybe Jimmy, you could also set an intention that 33 weeks from now your book is done.
Well, we can certainly up
the ante a little bit.
I mean, listen, as we go through this thing, I mean, we're going to be talking about a lot of things, a lot of the concepts in the book. And sometimes, the best material writes itself, right? I mean, sometimes you can sit down at a computer and it's like you get that writer's block, or you just can't get it out in the same way that you would if somebody just randomly asked you the question, right? And you just kind of went off the cuff. So, yeah, I'm down with that. I mean, here's the deal. So, you're talking about kind of a mental toughness tip. Here's the thing. Mental toughness.
Mental toughness tip number one.
I won't say this is the most important thing, because they're all they're all important. It's all
happens. It lands on episode number 1. So that's the only thing, and it makes a lot of sense for our topic today. That's it.
I think it is the first thing that needs to happen for you to go from where you are now to where you want to go, regardless of if it's a personal life, your marriage, your business, in any of these areas of your life that you want to improve in. The number one first thing, the first step you have to do is get radically honest. And what I mean by that is you have to get honest. We talk about going from where you are to where you want to go. You have to be radically honest about where you are. I mean, the masses of people, unfortunately, are mildly to massively delusional and dishonest about where they really are in their life. And they're not willing or able to see their situation for what it is. So the first thing you have to do, get radically honest. And that's 2 parts. Like I said, get radically real and honest about where you are, and then get radically real, honest, and clear about where you're trying to go. If we don't know those 2 things, it's hard to put those steps in place. You got to know where you're starting from, and you have to know where it is that I'm trying to go. So if you guys want to look at this as like some homework for this week, over the course of this week, before you tune in again next Wednesday, start thinking about that. If you're thinking about building a business or just making a change in your life, get radically honest about where you are and then where you're trying to go. Mental toughness, tip number 1.
Yes. And by the time we get done with this, we're going to have all sorts of ways that that's communicated and shared, and we'll give you a real deal brand business page on Facebook that you can go over and like that. You'll see a social graphic, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All of this stuff will proliferate in the grand scheme of 33 weeks to 6-figure brand. So I'm going to think we're going to wrap up, Jimmy. What a killer first episode. So excited. I hope everyone can help us get the word out. We're making history here with this show. I've never seen this live, interactive sort of reality show as we build a freedom, as we build freedom for my man, Jimmy Farris. I'm so happy that this is happening, man. So please help us share it by #FreedomLab and by sending folks over to peacefulmedia.com/freedom so they can sign up for the notifications for future episodes. It is totally free. So unless, Jimmy, you have any words, I'm gonna peace out.
I'm out, man. Great job. I enjoyed it. Look forward to next week.
So until we see you next time, peace. I'm Jam at Peaceful Media. This is Jimmy Farris with the Jimmy Farris Success Institute, Mental Toughness 101 and 404. And until we see you next time, remember to love more, play more, and do more good. Peace.